Good afternoon. It is March 13th, 2023, about 1 o'clock, and we are in Escalante, Utah. Strange set of events came to get to this point. I had another trip that I had planned that I had to cancel because I hurt myself, and I got some good news, and at the very last minute was invited on another trip to come out here and hike in one of the most beautiful places that I've been wanting to get to for quite some time. We're going to be starting off here. We're going to be going through Coyote Gulch, Stevens Canyon, Folds Canyon, Fools Canyon, I think King's Mesa. Lots of really cool things in here that I've been wanting to see for a long time. It is chilly, it is cold, but with that being said, there's no crowds here, so hopefully we'll have it all to ourselves. Looking forward to this adventure, and we'll see you on down the trail. And that's looking back up the way we just came down, mainly on my butt, sliding. But here we are. Finally made it into Coyote Gulch, and I can only imagine what this looks like with all these leaves on here, but still very pretty and still very immense. So just around the corner from where we dropped in, this is Jacob Hamblin Arch, and it does not disappoint. I think the better shot, or the one you probably see in a lot of screensavers and stuff, is off the other side. But nice and cool down here. Really cool camping spot down at the bottom. I'm not sure if we're going to stay here or where we're staying, but not a bad site to climb down into. So we hung a left out of where we dropped in and came around, but look at the immense size of this. You can see the guys down there. You see how tiny they look compared to the just huge overhang here. You can imagine when this is all lit up with the sun in a different direction. And right over there is Jacob Hamblin Arch. And this is looking out the exact opposite side of Jacob Hamblin Arch. So basically we just did a big loop around the end of that point to get over here. Let's take a nice little break over at Hamblin Arch. We just came back to where we dropped in, which was down that big wall there. And now we are going to continue on. We don't really have a real destination. Joey was talking about a waterfall campsite or possibly heading all the way down to the confluence. But we're moving. So we've just reached the natural bridge here in Coyote Gulch, and we're probably just going to take a little breather here and kind of check it out and move on to the next area, which has got a waterfall in it. Maybe camp there, maybe not, who knows, but so far a lot of fun through here. So we're looking at Cliff Arch, which is right there, one side shot of it. And you see Tony and Joey down in front of me. I think we're going to go across the other side of that bank, and that's going to be camp for this evening. So everybody asks what I eat at night, and usually the first day I come out, I always bring myself some fresh sandwiches. So I've got a fresh chicken, I grilled at home with some Italian meats, lettuce, and cheese on it, and a wheat bread. Not a bad way to start the trip off. Real nice shot there at Cliff Arch. Well, it's the end of day number one. I'm sitting here, I got Cliff Arch looming over top of me in the background here. Really nice, relaxing day today. Absolutely no stress whatsoever. Came across this beautiful plateau of like slick rock this morning, and fortunately the weather held off for us, which was nice. They were projecting a little bit of rain, but for the most part pretty decent and sunny. Then we had a little rock scramble down into Coyote Gulch, and as soon as we got down there we went to the left instead of going to the right, which is where we were headed this direction to actually make a loop. But yeah, we got to see Jacob Hamblin Arch right off the bat, and just it was spectacular. It's just a beautiful thing to see sitting out there in the middle of no man's land, and these big giant cliff walls looming around you, and just over top of you, hanging over there. When we walked through, it was like being like a little kid walking through the water and not worrying about your shoes and stuff like that. And then we made it back around, headed to the right of where we started at, and shortly thereafter, we made it to this thing called the Natural Bridge, which is in Coyote Gulch as well, and another really beautiful little arch. And then finally, we made it here at Cliff Arch. We got cliff balls, and our tent sites are set up right now. It's great, and I had my dinner, and I'm just going to chill out and relax for a little bit this evening before probably heading in a little bit early. Still didn't get a lot of sleep last night, so I'm looking forward to getting a good night's rest tonight. And then tomorrow, I'm not really sure what the guys got planned. They've got, this is kind of their trip they invited me on last minute, so they already had something kind of in mind, and they might be making some changes along the way, so I don't have any concrete things to give you. So, and then night number one, I'll see you tomorrow morning. Well, good morning. It is day number 2, about 9 o'clock, just getting wrapped up, about ready to roll here. We're going to be heading up to Stevens Canyon today, I believe. I'm not sure exactly how far that's going to be. We're just going to kind of make our way through the rest of Coyote Gulch, hit Escalante River, and then cross over into Stevens Canyon. Last night, not too awful chilly. The roaring sound of that waterfall was pretty relaxing. I actually got a little sleep last night, so I feel pretty good with that. Strangest thing about last night was the fact that in the inside of my tent, not the outside, usually in the mornings I wake up and I go ahead and take my handkerchief and wipe off the outside, but only on the inside of my tent everything was soaked. So hopefully today we don't get any rain, we get some sun, and I can stop somewhere along the way and take out my stuff and let it dry for a while. But yeah, that was the only bad thing about last night. A lot of sand in my tent too. So, but today should be another fun day, another day going through these nice canyons. I think there might be some bushwhacking in through Stevens. It's not very well used, I guess. So it's going to be a lot of kind of going through the scrub that you see around me now. But anyway, let's get a move on. Fresh spring water coming right out of the side of the cliff there.
Arch way out there.
And we're going to be climbing up here to get out of Coyote Gulch, right? To get into Stevens Canyon?
We're basically going to climb up in these cliff bands, walk out to the point. The view's going to be really awesome. And then we're going to start walking above the Escalante River up canyon. So that'll be really cool. We'll drop in there, across the river, and then we'll be on the other side of that arch.
Nice.
Going up Stevens.
Very nice. So we can see the destination. We just got to make it there. Oh, one destination. I figured I'd get one last view down here in Coyote Gulch. Not exactly sure where it's going to take us up here, but you can see that it's kind of meandering down through the canyon here, and up in the upper left of the screen there's probably a good shot of Stevens Arch. We're going to kind of, I guess, go around that point, work our way up into a gully to the left there, and then cross over into Stevens Canyon, I think. So as we approach here to the end of Coyote Gulch, right here in the center of the screen, that is the Escalante River right below that little flat wall and the mouth of Coyote Gulch. And we are probably going to take a break out here and hopefully dry out some of our gear that got wet last night with a beautiful view of Stevens Arch there in the center of the screen. Can't wait to get over there and get a little bit better shot of that. And that's a shot looking right down into the confluence of the Coyote Gulch and the Escalante River, right in that area. And this side is looking down the Escalante River here, and I believe somewhere, if I'm pointing in the right direction, we're going to kind of work our way back into that little canyon back there, and then we're going to navigate that and drop down into the river basin there. So we're looking into the side canyon now, and we're somehow going to work our way down through this, down into the Escalante River, and then working our way around the canyon there. And that big blick behind Tony is where we're going to be working our way down through the canyon and the river.
It takes me like 2 minutes. I don't have to.
So we just made it down to the bottom of that little scramble, and now we are down at the Escalante River basin, and somewhere around that point down there we're going to kind of wade through the river and head up Stevens Canyon. Yeah, through the chocolate milk. There went the stick. It is like walking through quicksand through here. So after coming down the river here a little bit, I was just notified by Joey that this is the mouth of Stevens Canyon, and this is what we're going to be working up, I guess, probably today, and I believe all day tomorrow as well. Pretty impressive though. So we're staying on the riverbank, and this is the other side of Stevens Arch. So Stevens Canyon here, it's got these giant red walls. Just beautiful. You kind of get over that little first bump in there and you get into the canyon, and it's, I don't know, it might look the same as the other one, but it seems like it's got its own little ambience about it. I wonder what makes all that black on the side of there in certain areas. It's kind of mesmerizing. Like a tiger print. So we've just reached the grotto. Took our packs off about 50 yards back. Pretty impressive. Let's go take a look down the actual well here. Looking from the upper side of the grotto, and there you can see the little crevice down below. That's the top portion of it, and the rocks and boulders that were stuck in the crevice there. And looking down Stevens Canyon from the direction that we came, a lot different perspective up here. And now looking into the other end of Stevens Canyon from this perspective until we get down to the bottom and head around that bend. So back in the distance there, right in the center point, you can see Stevens Arch. We've worked our way all the way through there. And now we're going to be treated to these giant orangish red walls. Just immense. My arch nemesis has returned once again. Oh no. So it's about 6:45 on the end of day number 2. I'm kind of tucked in the back of the canyon here. Our tents are kind of set up in a little windy area there, but I've done my camp chores for the day. Got my food cooked. It's sitting there waiting for me. Gonna have sweet and sour pork, and then I've got my water filtered and everything ready to go. Today was actually a really cool day. We left Coyote Gulch, where we camped at last night, and made our way through these beautiful canyons until we had to climb up on top of this rim. Kind of just to get over into Stevens Canyon, or actually the Escalante River, and then to Stevens Canyon. But we had this beautiful view of Stevens Arch, the Escalante River that we kind of got to wade through. It was really cold this morning. And then we had a nice little lunch break up at the top of the point there before we dropped into the other side of the canyon, which was a nice little rock scramble down. Made me feel like a little kid today. I was telling one of the guys, it just kind of reminded me of that. So it was a very de-stressing day, just a beautiful hike, and all these amazing features here, these geological features that are just impressing me to death. So anyway, from the end of night number 2, hopefully see you in the morning. Oh, one thing about tomorrow morning, I almost forgot. They're calling for rain. I think 90% chance of rain. Tony's spot got that weather thing on it. So at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, and hopefully nothing this evening, but we set up high enough off. But yeah, we got rain tomorrow, so just want to remember that. So hopefully when I wake up, it'll be a little bit different.
Lost Coast, and then Shishi down to Zed.
So it's a little after 9 on the morning of day number 3. Pretty quiet night last night. We were expecting a lot of wind when we set up, but it was eerily calm throughout the night. Still had a lot of sand in my tent this morning when I woke up all over the place from blowing earlier on, but didn't get that sleep that I was looking for. I was kind of hoping for it, but first 2 nights I actually got some decent sleep. But today we're going to head up Stevens Canyon, I guess for about an hour or so, and then we're going to climb up a wall to get up on a little bit higher bench. and then kind of cruise along there for quite a ways today. And the rain is so far holding off, but I don't have a lot of faith that it's gonna keep at bay very long. Let's get moving. I keep seeing this and forgetting to point it out. You can see how this is all laid down from the previous flood. This is all throughout the canyon. Just now finally taking a shot of it. It came from that direction there. Kind of following this immense wall. And we have to work our way, I think, around this bend and then climb up to that shelf up there, but on the other side. Okay, so we're getting to the point now where we're going to have to climb up to the next level. And there's a little rock going right here, but we're going to scurry up along this route here and then make a switchback and kind of come across the top of that. For now, we're going to stop, take a little break under this overhang, probably get some water, and get ready for the climb. Okay, we've got up to the next level and along this shelf here. That's what we're going to work our way around for, I guess, 2 to 3 hours and head into the distance there somewhere before meeting up with, right below us here, that's Stevens Canyon, which will eventually climb up and kind of end at a wash, I believe, or a pour off. And that's where we're going to kind of meet back up. It's kind of neat. You're seeing the canyon down there at the bottom. It's still Stevens, but it's widening out quite a bit. I'm assuming some of there's the pour off way in the distance.
Similar spot. It didn't mess it up.
Yeah, where you could see the drop in. Yeah.
So this is that pour off that I was talking about earlier. I can't take credit because Tony and Joey are the ones who give me all the intel on this. I'm just kind of regurgitating what they're saying, but I guess we're going to walk up to that and enjoy the rest of the canyons. it's about 1 o'clock, and we just left our lunch break there over there at the pour-off. And now we are going to head into Stevens Canyon. So far today's actually been really cool. We started off meandering through the rest of Stevens Canyon, the lower portion. Then we climbed up onto that rock wall, and it totally changed the scenery by kind of coming up into this upper area here. And I think right now what we're gonna do is we're gonna head into like some more canyons, but at this level. So should be some more nice rock walls and some scenery inside of a canyon for a while. And then I believe we're gonna stop tonight somewhere in Stevens Canyon to camp tonight. And then I guess tomorrow we're gonna climb up over a pass and head into Fold Canyon. So gonna be an interesting afternoon. Hopefully the rain holds off. So here's where things get a little fun. We're going through the canyon here. Hasn't really rained much all day, thank goodness, but now it's starting to. And we're going through this, I don't know, trail. It's got a slight trail. A lot of thickets and stuff like that to go through. So we're gonna have some wet clothes here shortly.
I feel like I remember being in that spot.
All I remember from going there is a co-op.
Yeah.
Getting
Alright, just making sure that I'm not playing P.
Well, good morning. It is day number 4, and we are just about ready to get packed up about 9 o'clock in the morning. About 15 minutes from now, we got to make a climb up onto the, kind of like the same thing that we were at yesterday when we climbed up onto that one shelf. And apparently we'll be hiking for that for about 2 hours until we get to the pass, which is going to drop into, oh, what is it? Something Canyon. But Fold Canyon, sorry. So we're going to drop into Fold Canyon after we get over the top of that pass, and then pretty much all day long we're going to be in that for about another 4 or 5 hours. The guys have kind of got a different route that we originally were going to do, and I guess it's winding up around there, and then probably down into the Escalante River at some point in time. But I think we're going to be camping up high today. But actually, no no clouds in the sky right now, so it should be pretty nice, other than the fact that it's really, really cold. My fingertips are freezing, so we're gonna get moving.
This would be a really good view day. And we're gonna head. Right now, we got plenty of gas.
So we're thinking this might be the climb up. No rock cairns or anything like that. Joey's gonna go scope it out on that side. If worst case scenario, there's a couple little ledges that we can get up and kind of scurry along. We're just trying to get up to the next level. Not too bad of a scramble, but enough to take the wind out of your sails a little bit. So that was a little steep climb. Just remember my calves are burning and my lungs are not holding oxygen. So you can see the beautiful vista we've got here. We're going to make our way around this entire level here, and somewhere right in that gap to the left there's a drainage, and that's where we're going to work our way up to the Fold Canyon saddle. So this is going to be our next little scramble to the next level after hiking all that nice slick rock bench. Shouldn't be too awful hard. Get up there and keep working around. So I think we just did our last climb to get up to this level, minus a little bit. That was the last shot of Stevens Canyon. And then you follow this cliff band here where we're going to kind of negotiate. And right here, that's the pass we're getting over to get into Fold Canyon. And I'll give you one last look back the way we came, all along that shelf. It's pretty amazing. So I'm just now coming over the saddle here, and this is Fold Canyon. Wow, that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we're going to be kind of working our way along that bench right there for the most part. And last look at the Stevens Canyon drainage there that we've been hiking through, and panning into Fold Canyon. Okay, so this is looking into Fold Canyon. What we're going to do really quick is we're going to manage our way along that cliff band, and then there's that little runoff that comes down the side here, and we'll make that all the way down into the basin there. or the drainage, and we're gonna hike on that slick rock for hours and hours, I guess. And back there from the saddle, I pointed out that green type of sandy slope that we have to come down. So this is where we're at now, heading down to the bottom of this possibly. So looking down where the guys are at down there, this is where we're going to drop in and cross over to the other side of the ravine here, and maybe get some water. I don't know, maybe take a break there, but I'm not exactly sure yet. But this has been a very picturesque area, my favorite so far of the trip. My tour guide has just informed me that that little hole there, if I'm pointing in the right direction, is where we're going to climb up through here in a few minutes. So, wow, I hope my stomach's coming down a little bit from hiking all this time. That's going to be a tight squeeze. So these guys are coming to work their way around here to this shelf over on their side here. I don't even know if my finger's pointing, but there's a ledge walk right across there. I am going to opt for going up high and going on the top of that. And somewhere up there is where we just climbed down from. A little bit of boulder hopping and relying on your shoes and getting the blood pressure up a little bit, but all worth it to get down here. So looking straight ahead there, that hole, that is what we have to get up and through. And Joey and Tony are heading up there now. This should be very, very, very interesting. So that's the top of the hole that we just climbed up through. I don't know how I fit through that, to be quite honest with you. Now I'm looking down at it. That was definitely a tight squeeze. And this is the view from the top of that hole we just climbed out of. I don't know if it's really got a name or not. We'll just call it tight squeeze for now. But yeah, that was a fold hole. Woo! But beautiful. So we're just kind of making our way around the upper level here now. So no more daredevil activities for the afternoon until tomorrow.
It's funny, I've never really bought stuff, you know. I actually bought this tent the first time I don't.
So good morning from day number 5. Behind us, I don't know if you can see down there, that's where we camped at last night. I did make a closing video yesterday just because we got in, did some chores, had to rock out on the slab there since my tent's not freestanding. But yesterday was just an all-around, probably my favorite day of the trip so far. We started off finishing off Stevens Canyon, which was a beautiful little area to walk through. Had a couple different boulder scrambles to get up to, I guess would be the equivalent of this level here. And then had these just beautiful views. My favorite part was actually sitting at my lunch break today, or yesterday, was just looking over these canyons that went down, and it seemed like it was like endless. It was just, and the colors were just beautiful. So I really enjoyed that part. And then we had the climb down into the ravine, into the folds actually, and then back up this thing called, I don't know if it's called Folds Hole or Hole Fold or whatever. They were kind of making some jokey names up about, but well, yeah, that was a little bit sketchy on my part. The hole was very, very tiny, and I could barely fit through it. And I'll just remember, I wouldn't say I wasn't stuck, but I couldn't get up by myself just the way that there was. So Joey actually was able to hit some webbing, which gave me just enough boost. Once I got past that little sticking point, I was able to get through. So yeah, being a bigger guy, that was a tight squeeze, but I won't forget that anytime soon. And then we kind of came back up onto this level and been hiking on this. And apparently today, that's what we're going to be doing most of the day. Hiking on this, we've got one thing that they keep calling the Ledge of Death. I'm kind of curious as to what that's going to be about. It'll be interesting. Probably get the blood pressure moving again, but should be another wonderful day. So let's get rolling. So this is Tony here, and he gave me kind of a little scare yesterday. I'm not going to lie, when he came shooting down a hoop. I didn't explain this earlier. Maybe I'll let him do what happened here.
Well, handing up packs and pushed a little too high. Had my foot planted, the tip of my foot planted on the rock, and it slipped out in front of me, or slipped out from me, and nice slide down the chute, about 20 feet.
All I heard was a few noises, and then him shooting at the back on his back, and splayed around. Yeah, splayed around. It was a scary incident. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, probably more so for him, I'm assuming. But yeah, you can see he got a nice little raspberry on the back there. Yeah, but thank God he is safe. Thank God he didn't get hurt.
Utah tattoo.
It is a Utah tattoo. All right, man. Well,
a fold hold.
A fold hold. Yeah, something or other. So this is a really good look down Fold Canyon, and if you can make the camera make it out right in the center of the screen, that snow-covered wall, that's probably near Hole in the Rock Road where we came in, because we followed that pretty much the entire way to where the trailhead was at. Pretty good shot of it from here, though.
Around the edge and see what that looks like, and maybe from there.
So we'll get this task here in front of us of trying to figure out how to make it up to the next level. I've had a couple of these, one just before this one, and now I think that's the level we need to get up to before we reach the wall of death.
Route finding. A few little climbs.
And for a little reference, just was informed that that is Navajo Mountain. So hopefully when I get back I can take a look and see in perspective where we're at in day 5 compared to that, as well as that wall that comes down Hole in the Rock Road. So we're just crossing over the pass into where, wow, this changes dramatically compared to the other side. Wow, I wasn't expecting that. That big dome up there, but the colors changed incredibly. So much more orange now. Wow, oh, this is going to be cool. Kind of on a little game trail now. This is apparently where the wall of death is at, but or the ledge of death. But totally different. Wow, it's a lot different.
Yeah.
Should have got Joey to explain this. He does it a lot better than I do. But we're heading down to this flat spot here. That's where he just said the ledge of death is over in this direction somewhere.
Yeah.
And then somewhere, I guess we're going to kind of cruise up the Escalante River, which is down in that valley, for about 10-15 minutes or so, and then come up on the shelf on the other side. And we'll be kind of working our way around that. If we make it that far. If I make it that far. Alright, got it. Made it look easy, man.
There's a good right handle. Tree solid.
Famous last words.
Both branches are pretty solid. You got the face.
Pull the tree out. I'm making this look harder than it is.
So I think we're creeping up on the ledge here, but it's a good shot down there at the Escalante River. And we'll make our way over, and not sure if that's it right there in the center of the screen. Get my finger right there, the sand dune that we have to climb up to get to the other side. We're making it. I don't know if that'll pick it up, but that'll kind of give you an idea of what we're about to embark upon here. Not the hard stuff yet.
Yeah.
All right, so we've arrived at the ledge of death here. I'm gonna let
first death ledge.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Joey kind of explain what we're doing here.
Well, we're just we got to get down to the river, and there's not really a way down except for these ledges that are primarily used by mountain goats and now occasionally hikers. So it's a safe ledge. Just a fall is going to be just total bad because it's just a big drop. The first little spot right here, we got to get underneath this little outcropping. You can't really walk around because the weight of the pack might cause you to drop. I mean, it's not like that's the drop, but just 4 feet away, like there's no way to fall here and it wouldn't be good. So we're gonna hand packs through this spot, and then we're gonna go out and we'll be on these ledges where it's just the canyon's kind of just in your face, and it'll be exciting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to us all making it.
Totally safe. Just taking our time watching every step we do.
Yes. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Pack's not worth a life here, too.
No, it's definitely.
If the pack goes, we'll be able to walk down and get it.
person you'll see me on my knees for than my wife.
See, it's not so bad.
No,
I feel like Bruce Willis.
but on our foot,
Bruce Willis and Die Hard.
Yippee-ki-yay! You're good, man, you're good.
Yeah.
Don't stand up right now, you got one right above you.
Okay.
So oddly enough, there is a small footpath up here after doing that. I doubt game come through this way, knowing that crawl, but wow. Definitely taking each step very, very slowly here.
Basically a no fall zone.
Yeah. But wow, actually this is just coming around the corner here. This is pretty cool. Wow. Good job, man. No, you're safe. That's a good thing. So after doing the ledges there, we creep down into something a little bit more manageable and a little bit less scary. So sitting here for lunch, I've got my sausage and lentil kale soup that I made at home and dehydrated. I add just 2 cups of water to it, and that'll be a good meal for this afternoon. And then we're gonna head on up. Big, huge sandy wall, I guess. Somewhere, way the heck out here, there is a V type of rock in there, and right above that V is where we kind of skirted along that shelf or whatever you want to call it, that little skinny ledge, and somewhere you can see a rock outcropping coming down. We kind of worked our way down that and through this and finally through a gully, but we're just sitting here looking at this now, and boy, it looks a lot more daunting from down here. And after taking a nice long break, we're going to be heading down to the center part of the canyon here, which is this ridge line here to the left, wrapping around that, and that's where we're going to have a giant sand dune to take us all the way up to the top layer, pretty much right above where we're at right now. So now if a big cat print there, time for size comparison. Wow, pretty cool. So this is what we're walking around right now. One of the better sections, to be quite honest with you. No real trail or anything other than a slight game trail or wash trail here, but this actually opened up pretty nice when I started taking the video. We're kind of bushwhacking for a while until we get around the point here. We just made our way around that point that I showed you way back there, and in front of Tony. That line is the beginning of the sand dune. And I guess we got about 300 feet of climbing that thing. So that's looking like the halfway point, and still have to make up that last little dune to the top, but a little bench in between it. So this is looking back down the dune. It's definitely a lot harder than you may think. We still have to make up the rock outcroppings first before we head over the pass just over that, and hopefully to camp soon. Maybe, who knows. And that's what we're gonna have next. Pretty steep. We just reached the saddle. You can tell in the center there, that is Navajo Mountain, kind of book framed in that little area, but wow. I think we're gonna camp somewhere back in the bowl behind where Joey is standing at right now. That was a heck of a climb. Took the wind out of my sails.
Trail in here. But I also feel like
So that's the beach right down here that we had lunch on. We worked our way around the craziness that was in the Escalante River down there, and then up around that point where we came up finally. So after hiking probably about 30-40 minutes, this is our water source tonight. We have gone in and out, and fortunately, I'm not going to knock this at all because it is water and it will be used. So you can see we've pretty much got almost all the water out of there. A little bit left, just too hard to scoop out of that. But I think about 5 liters between the two of us.
Yeah. Where's your little skinny thing?
Shot from camp, day number 5. That's looking in front of us. Kind of in the direction that we'll be heading tomorrow, early in the morning. Got our tent set up. Sun's going down. Getting all our chores done. Getting some food in our belly. Signing off for the end of day number 5.
Good for the gut bio.
yeah. Just trying to.
It's nice. Because we're going to get the fools. Kind of start to warm up.
Well, good morning. It is the morning of day number 6. Pretty nice night last night. The last 2 nights have been really nice. Got pretty cold about probably 3-4 o'clock in the morning, but not too awful bad considering I have my 15-degree bag. It's hard to get out, but as soon as the sun comes up, it's not too awful bad at all. I did not do a synopsis last night about yesterday. Yesterday was a pretty interesting day. We had that nice campsite up on the Slick Rock there. And then we hiked and traversed around. We had a couple small scrambles to get up onto another level, and then we had these beautiful views. As we came over this this pass, the colors changed, and you'll see that in the video. They went from what you kind of like what you're seeing now a little bit, but a little lighter to this like orangish color. And then we had the ledge of death, which was kind of a funny little experience. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. You know, still get your adrenaline going, but not nearly as scary as as anticipated or I built up in my head to be. And then we worked our way down into the Escalante. Had lunch down there. Water down there was super muddy, did not filter water. And then we climbed up this giant sand dune. Big, huge climb. Not like a difficult climb. It took the wind out of your sails because it was straight up in that sand, like walking on the beach. Until we got up to this level. And then last night we had to kind of find some pocket water, and hopefully I do not catch anything from that because a lot of mice and rodent poop around it, but hopefully today we'll run into some new potholes and refill. Today I'm not really sure what's going on. We're actually going to be staying up on this level. We have to cross over into the upper level here at some point in time today, and have to kind of skirt along that until we get into Fool's Canyon. And then from there, kind of unknown from where I'm at. The guys are kind of deciding on what route they want to take. So without any further ramble, let's get moving. So my camp is right behind me here. We're just packing it up, but you can see this drainage right here. This is the Escalante drainage all the way through here. I can catch a real quick glimpse of the river down in that area, but all below that main wall there, and all the way down through the valley there, that's the Escalante River. And that beautiful backdrop in the background. So right down there in the bottom, that's our water source for this morning. Scurry our way down there and hopefully fill up a bunch of water and get across the top of this into Fool's Canyon, and that's where our next water will be at. Another shot looking down into Escalante Canyon there. And somewhere over there is where we camped out last night. Actually, probably behind that that point. Looking ahead, I think we're going to have to make our way up in that crevice right between those two rock formations right there. So we made it to the point that we're going to work our way up, and I think we're going to make our way up through this little crevice here, and somewhere up around the top work our way around, and eventually what we're going to do is work our way to this level and somewhere up over that dome there. And that's when we have some other decisions, I guess, to make. So we made our way around this point. Finally do a little flat stop after that first rock scramble, and I think right behind Tony is where we're going to make our way, scramble up the rest of the way, because everything else is just way too technical. I mean, like rock climbing type of stuff that is well above my scope. So we dropped our packs, and now we are heading up to the top of that dome to kind of get a perspective of where we are going to be heading to. I think you may have caught on here a couple times Joey and Tony saying it's only routes up here. There's no such thing as trails per se. So what we do is kind of make our own way and figure it out from there. But next challenge is finding the next part of our route.
Yeah. Southeast, go to the southeast corner and look east. Maybe it's those domes way off.
So we're going to be working our way through all of this here, and somewhere out in the distance, I can't make it out of my phone at all, or on this video, but I think it's right out here, that little dome. There's two domes, the one to the right. That's where we have to head to. So we're going to kind of meander our way through the hillside here and find a drop in on the other side of this. he's heading down right now. This is the first possible canyon that we have to work our way down. Not exactly sure if it's this one or the one over the bump to the left here. As soon as he gets down there, he'll take a look and see what he thinks. So looking down here, this is our first sight of Fool's Canyon. We got to navigate down this rock pile here. We get down to the area down here where the ravine's at. We're going to work our way back to the right around out of sight, and then back along that bench there around the point, and then hopefully find some place down into the wash over there. But yeah, definitely going to be a interesting climb down. Take it nice and slow. Next obstacle to work our way through here, dropping down into the bottom. And you can see we have finally made it down into Fool's Canyon. That was quite a rock scramble. Not as bad as some of the others, but definitely keep you on your toes. So this is what we're fighting through right now. Not a lot of fun. The most water we've seen probably, what, in a day?
Yeah.
Since Escalante
Take
River.
a bath in that.
Do some laps. Well, good morning. It is day number 7, last day of the trip for us, and we are going to be heading up over what you see behind me there. There's a little cow trail or something that kind of works its way up, and then right around that bend, that crevice, is where we're going to head up into. We're going to head up to King's Mesa, head across that through an arch that kind of, or not an arch, a pass. And then once we get over that pass, we're heading back down into Coyote Gulch, and then back to Jacob Hamblin Arch, and then back out the same way we came. Yesterday, not the most challenging of the days from a standpoint of the things we did, but the actual feel of it, I remember just it was tiring, very, very tiring yesterday for some reason. And it might have been the heat, might have been the walking through the sand. That was kind of rough. Some route finding too, which also changed the specs of things a little bit as well. But this has been a wonderful trip, very relaxing, very stress-free, and I really enjoy it and appreciate that. So, on to the day. Looking over in this direction, right around in this area, that's where we came down yesterday and kind of meandered around in through this weed infested gully there. And then down there in the distance. There's a pool of water. And then right around that ledge there is where we camped out last night. We're heading over that direction to the top of that. So we're looking across the top of the mesa here, and we're going to shoot for that pass right in the center of the screen, and that's Kings Mesa over there. So we're going to hit that and then drop down across that into Coyote Gulch. So looking back, somewhere in that direction right there is where we came from, and now we are sitting at the top of the saddle for Kings Mesa. I'll turn the camera around and show you the other side. So looking at the other side of Kings Mesa, and we're going to work our way through here, and somewhere down there is Coyote Gulch. We got to drop into that and then back over to Jacob Hamblin Arch.
I was driving from here back to Florida for the winter.
So we think this is the area to kind of come down into the wash here. I think we're in the right spot. We're going to find out as soon as we get over here and down to the bottom where these trees are at. But if we do, and that is the right spot, we're going to make a left and work our way through all that brush down there. So we've come to probably the last crux we have right now. And controlled slide down. And boom, that's how you do it. So this is the mouth of Sleepy Hollow. That's that bushwhack canyon we just came out of. And now we are back to Coyote Gulch. Make our way back to Jacob Hamblin Arch and up the rock wall. Actual running water. Coyote Gulch. As we get closer and closer to Hamlin's Arch, the trails are becoming more evident. We actually have some trails now. So as you may have noticed, we made it back. We're at Jacob Hamblin Arch and really made a giant loop now. So we have one more climb, the descent that we made into the canyon, and we have to climb back out. And then we'll cruise across the upper shelf for a little bit, back to the car. Not a bad way to end the trip though. So we're back at it. That's the climb we got to make out of here. Last obstacle. So it's 20 to 7 and I had a slight change of plans. The guys went up that steep cliff wall there going in, and I just did not feel comfortable doing it. So kind of recognized my skill set. Hopefully I can get back to them and meet them at the same time. But I backtracked down Coyote Gulch from where we started today and ended up in Hurricane Wash is where I'm at right now. So they'll go up and get the car hopefully safely. That's my fingers crossed right now. That's what I'm really thinking about. And I'll meet out here at the trailhead.